9.6, solving right triangles. All right, angle A is an acute angle. Use a calculator to approximate the measure of angle A to the nearest tenth of a degree. So this is just practicing the calculator part of typing these in. So let's see, 14. We've got the tangent of A is equal to 0.5, and we want to solve for angle A. So we take the inverse tangent of both sides. So we have A is equal to the inverse tangent of 0.5. So hit second and then your tangent button. And then 0.5. And to go back to Michael's earlier question, you don't have to close the parentheses unless you're also multiplying by something else that's not in the parentheses. So just for reference. What do we get? 26.6 degrees. And make sure you put that degree symbol. That's almost like your units. Okay, I know all you really know right now is degrees, but there's also something called radians, and so we want to get in the habit now of marking that those are degrees. 16. Sine of A is equal to 0.5. So take the inverse sine. So we've got A is equal to the inverse sine of 0.5. It is 30. 30 degrees. And let's do a cosine one. 18. Cosine of A is equal to 0.15. So A is equal to the inverse cosine of 0.15. So hit second cosine, 0.15. What do we get? 81.4 degrees. All right. Is everybody okay with typing it in? Are we having any issues with that?
I don't know how to do it. Like, I'm doing like what you're saying, but it's like I don't.
Okay, let me make sure yours is the same way. So yours is called shift. That's probably why not. So that. Oh, that was my fault. 0.5. So yeah, you just have to hit shift.
Okay.
Okay, if you have the Casio calculator, not the TI one, that's totally fine, but you're gonna have to hit the shift button instead. You don't have a second button. Yours is called shift. Is everyone else is working? Let's try the cosine. I wanna make sure. Yours is shift also. Everyone else is good? Okay.
Okay, it's working.
Okay. Yep. I've never seen one that didn't have a second button. So that's why I was like, where is it?
I was trying to find it.
Usually the colors match up with the writing that's like above them, but that's not always the case. So that's why I was like, I don't know. All right, so now we're going to get into solving the right triangles. So 22. So what I like to do is go ahead and kind of like write in that this side down here is A, this side over here is B, and then C is what I'm solving for, just so that I kind of can see it there. And that way I make sure that I have the stuff matched up correctly. And then I like to go ahead and set up my angles and my sides, and I'll write those in different order. Sometimes I'll write the sides first. This time I wrote the angles first. And at this point I would write in everything that I know. So I've got, I only know angle C is 90 degrees. I don't know any of the other angles at this point. I know side A is 21, side B is 20. So that's all I know right now. If you want to solve for, like if you didn't want to use the Pythagorean theorem, you could do it with the way that we learned yesterday, but we'd have to solve for one of the angles first. Anyways, I would start with the Pythagorean theorem with this one and solve for side C, and then I'll go about solving for my angles. So how do I set up to solve for side C?
20 squared plus 21 squared is equal to c squared.
Yep, 20 squared plus 21 squared equals c squared. Thanks. So then that's 841 is equal to c squared. Take the square root of that. So that side is 29. So then I'll usually go up here and I'll write in that stuff. So now I need to solve for angle A and angle B. Again, I would be cautious using the side that I just found just in case I did something mathematically wrong. Maybe I typed it in wrong, whatever. So what associates, let's just do them in order, angle A with the two sides that were given to me? Tangent, how would I write it?
A equals tangent, tan A.
Tangent of A equals, yep, opposite over adjacent, so 21 over 20. Now we take the inverse tangent, so we have A is equal to the inverse tangent of 21 over 20. So angle A is what?
46.4.
Yep, 46.4 degrees. Now, again, I could just do 180 minus 90 minus 46.4. For the sake of practice, I know we've been doing that all year. For the sake of practice, I'm going to use a trig function here. I know that being 29 is correct. So, if you want to use a different trig function other than tangent, you can. How would we solve for angle B? You can use tangent since that's the one with the known values, or you can use something else. I don't care.
We should use sine.
Okay,
We should,
sure. We'll use sine. I know that side's right, so we'll just for practice. I would not, for record, if I didn't know that the answer for sure, I'm looking at the answer in the book. If I didn't know, I would choose something different. So, all right, sine of what?
Sine B is equal to 20 over 29.
Yep, opposite over hypotenuse. So that means that B is equal to the inverse sine of 20 over 29.
43.6.
43.6. And again, you can do a quick check here so that you know that your angles are right and add up and make sure that they add up to 180. That's a good way to just sit there and check and be guaranteed that you got, more or less guaranteed you got your angles right. The only thing you really can't check is your C unless you want to check it with a trig function to see if you got it right. Questions on that one? Um, 26. What's different about this one?
It's not ABC.
It's not ABC. What else? Compared to the other ones we've done.
It's the other direction.
Okay, what else? Have we been given a hypotenuse before? Not in these ones today. We've only been given the other two sides. So there's just something different here. So obviously I'm not going to write ABC. I'm going to write NPQ. So angle Q I know is 90 degrees. I'm going to write in my letters over here. Side Q is 13.6. Side N is 4. So this is side P over here that I'm solving for. And then I'll obviously solve for the other angles as well. All right, how do I set up to solve for the other side?
Squared. 2.6 squared equals P squared.
Nope.
Daily, bro.
What's the hypotenuse? So that has to be by itself. So what happens over here on the other side?
That'll be P squared.
Yep, so 4 squared plus P squared equals 13.6 squared. So I'd end up with P squared is equal to 13.6 squared minus 4 squared. Yeah, and since it's just zeros after that, I would go ahead and write out both of those, and then minus 16. So that means that P squared is equal to 168.96. I'm just curious, what are they going to do? Take the square root of that.
12.998.
Yep, so it's going to round to 13. Because it's almost 169, so, which is 13 anyways. So side P is 13. Now I need to solve for angle N and angle P. So what setup should we use to solve for angle N?
Sine.
So tell me how to write it.
Sine N is equal to 4 over 13.6.
Yep. So opposite over hypotenuse. So we've got N is equal to the inverse sine of 4 over 13.6. Anybody got it? 17.1 degrees. How about Q? How do we want to solve for that one?
Cosine.
Yep, cosine. So that would be the cosine of P is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, so 4 over 13.6. So P equals the inverse cosine of 4 over 13.6. .9 degrees. And again, I can do a quick check here and make sure that these add up to 180. And then I've solved that. Any questions on those ones? All right, the next ones are the ones where they're going to give us an angle, and then we're just solving for whatever, like, the missing pieces are, which I think is just basically like the 3 things that we've been solving for in these other ones. So 28. So notice again, they use different letters. I'm still going to set it up the same way, showing my angles and sides and writing in what I know and what I don't know. So I know side R is 4.5. I don't know P and I don't know Q. I know angle R is 90 degrees. And I know angle Q is 26 degrees. So what's going to be the absolute easiest thing to solve for?
Angle B.
Yep, angle P. How do I do that?
180 minus 90 minus 26.
Yep, 180 minus 90 minus 26. And what do we get when we do that?
64.
So 64 degrees. Now, hopefully you're pretty confident at that point, then I could use any of these angles to solve. So I'm going to solve for, I'm just going to go in order, solve for side P first. So if I want to solve for side P, what trig function can I use that associates side P and 4.5? And you can use either of the angles. It doesn't matter. We're confident when we do 180 minus 90 minus whatever the other angle is, in this case 26. As long as you're typing that in your calculator, you should be pretty confident that that's right. Okay, so you can use either angle P or angle Q. So how would I set up to solve for side P? I can't use tangent because I don't know side Q.
Is it
Cosine of what?
Cosine 64.
Yep, cosine of Q would work. So that would be the cosine of Q is 26 degrees, so that's 26, is equal to adjacent P over hypotenuse 4.5. And so then I just need to multiply both sides by 4.5. So I have 4.5 times the cosine of 26 is equal to P. And what do we get?
4.
Yep. All right, now I want to solve for side Q. Again, I can use either angle. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. So what trig function do you want to use that associates Q? Well, you can tell me whatever. Tell me how to set it up to solve for Q.
We should do sine.
Of what?
Sine 26.
Yep, sine of 26 is equal to, yep, Q over 4.5. Multiply both sides by 4.5, so I have 4.5 sine of 26. What is it?
1.9, but it runs up to 2.
Okay. So then we've solved that one. Do we need to see another one of those, or we feel okay? Good? All right.
That's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
Our quiz.
This isn't a lot quiz, right? It's just not quite so.
I said at the beginning the quiz is 9.4 to 9.6.
Yeah, it looks like I'm playing this class.
All right, we may do one little word problem thing at the beginning tomorrow. When we do our review, I have to look at the quiz reviews and see what I want to do with that. But problems. 15, 17, 19. 23, 27.
Yeah.
29 and 33. Now, I don't mind if you work on this a little bit tomorrow in class, but here's the thing. I'm going to give you your quiz review tomorrow at the beginning of class as well. If you have questions, that will be your opportunity to ask them. This homework is going to be due at the end of class tomorrow. So you don't have to do it tonight, but it has to be turned in before you leave class tomorrow or it will be a 0. Okay? So if you want to knock this out so tomorrow you can do quiz review and get help if you need it, that's what I would recommend. Because I'm not just going to give you all the answers to the quiz review if we're not, like, we haven't put in solid effort for it. But I'll be here to answer questions if you have it. Okay?